what's up? Gonna be talking about Slime King versus Kevin today, and yes, this is a remake video. So yeah, start off in the early game. Kevin is of course better because you can't get Slime King in the early game, right? He's gonna be very strong throughout King normal, Raytrist normal, beating JR normal. But after that, when you do have access to both units, which one's better, right? And when you think about all the factors contributing to both of the positive sides of the unit, in the mid game, specifically for JR hard, Slime King's gonna be better, right? And the reason he's better is because you'll pretty easily get both of these monsters to a point where they're able to one-shot everything. You know, Kevin will of course get there a little bit quicker than Slime King, but they'll both pretty easily get to a point where they're one-shotting all the monsters in JR hard, right? And so when you take that into consideration, the fact that Kevin has a higher base damage than Slime King really doesn't become that important anymore. And what becomes more important is the fact that Slime King has a full map ability, which means that it will make your clears significantly more consistent, right? It's less dependent on if one enemy gets by, how are you going to deal with that? And more so, you know, some enemies can get by, you know, Slime King will just ult once, clear the whole board, you'll get very nice, easy, consistent clears. So in that sense, Slime King is significantly better than Kevin. Specifically for JR hard, and that's mostly what a lot of players know. That's what gets told to a lot of new players. But I think what's less discussed is beyond that, you know, what's Slime King or Kevin? Which one is better for the nightmare levels? Which one is better for the elemental challenges? And in terms of that, it's just pretty dependent on your other board, I guess I'd say. Like for example, if you are attempting nightmare levels, and you do have access to something like a DPS mythic, you know, anything, all the mythics here pretty much, you can level them up around like level 400, maybe a little bit higher depending on the unit. Then you're going to be using your mythic as your main DPS carry to clear the nightmare levels. And in that case, Slime King's going to be better, right? Because he's just a nice full map stun, whereas Kevin is sort of secondary DPS that pales in comparison to a full map stun, because you're not going to be putting him in mighty speedy anyways. You're going to be putting a mythic there. And in terms of the elemental challenges, both can be decent, I guess. Of course, Kevin is also I forgot to mention this, Kevin's also usable in sort of like budget nightmare level setups, I guess. Both of these units are used. You can use them with like Felina, Deathbite, you know, Mighty Speedy. Maybe you have to get all of them to like around level 500. That's how you're gonna get easier clears on JR Nightmare without access to something like Hellhound or Mythics. But yeah, in terms of elemental challenges, Kevin, he's good in one scenario where you are making sort of a budget IQT setup that caps out at wave 19. And he's a decent unit in there. But other than that, he really pales in comparison to Slime King again, because Slime King, again, 2-second stun, full map, very, very strong, right? You can use him in pretty much any of the challenges if you don't have a perfect setup, because he's just a nice stun. And he's also used in, you know, quite a few setups that can clear Volcano Goddess card. Granted, you know, many different setups can clear Volcano Goddess hard as long as you have Horus, Hellhound plus Jiraiya on Wednesday, right? Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say for these two units, right? Kevin, you know, not a bad unit. He's just generally a little bit worse than Slime King after you are able to obtain Slime King. But I wouldn't say avoid upgrading him either, you know, just prioritize Slime King over Kevin. You can still use both. Just put Slime King in between Mighty and Speedy. That's gonna be it for this video. Might start remaking some of my videos from before. We'll still try to keep up the 2 uploads per day. But that's gonna be it. Like, sub, and yeah, see ya.